Give me a second, guys. Just a second. Does it show him live yet? Nah. I don't think so. There we go. There it is. Edit the video real quick. Change the thumbnail. Where? There it is. Turn that on. Save. Did it save? I think it saved. Oh, it didn't save the thumbnail though. I have to do that now with Streamlabs. Like, I can't just do that through. It's annoying. One minute. I'm almost done. Set up? Okay, it looks like it's set up. Okay. Let me go ahead and share the link with others. My teammates. Where is it? Share. Copy. Close this. Cool beans. Who's on right now? Oh, it's just Squire. I don't know if anybody's still on from earlier. God, I still feel sick. Anyways, let me get started with this. I don't know if, but hey, what's up, Simon? How you doing? I don't know if any of my teammates are actually going to be able to I don't know if they're online or not to actually be able to show up for this, but I'm going to do this anyway so that way they could at least watch back on this if they want to. I haven't really looked at our VODs just yet though, so I'm kind of going based on first impressions. Yeah, you're more than welcome to jump on. I'm going to be doing some VOD reviews real quick of some team games that I did with a few team members yesterday. If you don't mind waiting for me to finish those first. But yeah, after that, like, oh, you're SJS. Okay, nice, perfect. Yeah, go ahead and jump on. So we did what looks like we did 5 games yesterday when I was online. Yeah, we did about 5 games yesterday. We won 3, we lost 2. So overall should have been a net win in SR. Let's start with Havana.
Traveling to Havana.
Ready for battle. The biggest things that I'm going to be looking for right now are kind of like 2 or 3 things. So I'll be watching them from, like, I guess you say 2 or 3 different perspectives. So I'll be looking at it from like the third person perspective like this. uh, so I can see what the overall team is doing in general, and ways to like the of how the team play could have been better and whatnot. And then I'll be looking at the supports, of course, because I am the support coach. Particularly Sour, because uh, at least from what you guys were saying yesterday, this whole thing was supposed to help carry him into gold, which I don't really personally approve as the right type of mindset. But I just went with it. I was like, okay, whatever. Whatever you guys want. I'm just here to play. Um, but at the very least, I want to look at Sour's gameplay, so that way, if he does end up looking back at this stream, can at least get some takeaways out of this, hopefully. So, because Sour actually has some pretty good aim mechanics. I haven't actually seen outside of our scrims, from the Trout games and everything like that. I haven't actually seen him play in a different environment like comp. So I kind of want to see how he does here and like what's his decision making and whatnot. I already told him before that his positioning needs to be improved a little bit. Hey, Tenyaku's on now too. That his position needs to improve, but aside from that, well, there wasn't really too much that I was able to, or that I should word that better, that I wanted to tell him just yet, based on the scrim VODs and whatnot. So I'm hoping this will give me a little bit better insight as to what his decision making process is like and such, so we can help try and address those a little bit. Because realistically, that's what's going to help him get into gold and higher, is the decision making, rather than the scrims. Because realistically, in our scrims, we're already playing with the mindset of trying to play as a team and whatnot. Even if our teamwork is kind of shitty, to be honest, I don't really say much. A lot of times, especially since I'm playing this, truthfully, DPS don't really need to say too much in an ideal situation, just because of the fact that realistically, the two roles that probably should have the most comms are the tanks and the supports. Tanks more often than not telling which direction they want to go in, what's the game plan, or what they would like to do in order to help push the team and whatnot. And because they're on the front lines, everyone, like, often it can be target calling. DPS can target call too. Everybody can target call. That's nothing specific, but more often than not, it can very easily be it'll probably be the tanks who might end up target calling, just because they're the front line, they're on the person, and DPS are more or less kind of like the cleanup crew, trying to solidify the picks, solidify the openings that the tanks and supports helping create. So the most important target calling should be from the supports and tanks. So a lot of times when I'm playing DPS with you guys during the scrims and stuff like that, I don't necessarily have to say too much, because there's already, especially since our comms are so cluttered, they're super like unnecessarily cluttered. You guys talk way too much in the comms, like unnecessary like comments all over the place, in our scrims. So it's like a lot of times, even if I do want to talk, I'm not even sure if you guys hear it, because of the fact that everyone's talking so much. I'm saying useless stuff. So where was I going with that? So so oftentimes, at least when I'm playing with you guys in the scrims, I'm usually just listening to the comms and responding to them accordingly, in order to help benefit the rest of you guys and help you guys pop up as much as possible. So at least that's what I'm doing when I'm playing DPS with you guys. But in here, because the fact that comp is typically, especially, just comp in general, people tend to have like the opposite reaction. It was like, sure, everyone knows they're supposed to work as a team, but for some reason, people don't play with the same mindset of playing with a team like they do when we're playing in scrims. And it doesn't make any sense to me. but it happens. It's like this weird psychological thing that happens. So I'm really interested in seeing like how people play differently when they play comp compared to the scrims, because realistically this is going the comp games are going to really show each player's bad habits and whatnot, or poor decision making or lack of game sense, whatever it is, compared to our scrim games. So interested in seeing this. So yeah, I remember this game because I remember I played Rhine shortly after this first fight, I believe. And I haven't touched tank in a hot minute. So I'm here like trying to like get back into the groove of things and getting used to it and stuff like that. So I remember I made like a few questionable charges that I was trying to do something specific, but it ended up not going the way I wanted. So I was like, okay, all right, I'm gonna stop trying after a while. But after a while, I started somewhat getting back into the hang of things. I remember this game. Anyways, continue. So we have you, SJS, as Sigma. I'm on the Orisa. Sour's on Baptiste. We have McCree's on Moira. Okay. That rock just completely missed. So, just to point out to Sour real quick, if he ends up watching this, I don't think Sour made it to my positioning class that I did a while back. But I think I did stream that positioning class. So Sour, if you're watching this, it might help to actually watch back on that positioning class stream that I did a while back, so that we can get some insight as to the type of concepts they need to keep in mind when thinking about positioning. Because as of right now, you're already making a mistake, Sour, which is and I've mentioned this to you before, that your positioning kind of needs work. Is right here. All right, this spot right here, at least for the first 15 seconds of the game, because of the fact that you don't really have any cover when you're peeking, this is a major risk to you. At least up until you know exactly what the enemy has, that you can actually respond accordingly. I'm assuming that just from straight from the get-go, you don't completely know what the enemy has just yet. If the enemy pops out with a Widow on this first point, and this first point on Havana is a very Widow-centric. Actually, most of Havana is a very Widow-centric map as a whole. So like, it's not uncommon for Widows to come out, and if they came out with a Widow, and the Widow actually has some decent aim, you could very easily get picked off right here, just out of the get-go, and not be able to respond in time. So you don't really want to leave yourself exposed like this during the first 15 seconds of the game without actually knowing what the enemy has first. For you to pick accordingly. So if you kind of, the best way I like to think about it whenever I go into my games is, until I know what the enemy has, I always assume the worst case scenario, okay, and I position accordingly. So like first 15 seconds, because you can't actually pull up tab and it won't show you what the enemy has until after the first 15 seconds have passed. I always just assume that the enemy has like a Widow or a Hanzo or somebody that can snipe me, one shot me, without a moment's notice. Okay, up until I can actually check that information, or if we have a character on our team, maybe like a Sombra or someone who can scout a little bit at the very beginning of the game, or if we have a Hanzo or on that can shoot a sonic arrow at the enemy spawn right before the beginning of the game, so we can actually see what they have. Then those are moments where I can actually like position accordingly, and like if I notice if we have a Sombra or a Hanzo Sonic Arrow, like I just mentioned, and I notice that they don't have any snipers or any long range characters that I have to worry about dying at the flick of a hat, whatever the phrase is, then I could be in a spot like this, where I can actually poke here and there and peek, and without worrying about dying at a moment's notice. So, that's the kind of thoughts that I think about when during the first 15 seconds of the game is, what do the enemy have? If I don't know what they have, I assume the worst case possible and I position accordingly. Okay. Once I know what they have, then I could potentially change my positioning if it's not as dangerous as the worst case scenario. The easiest way to rank up on support is to actually just play as safe as possible. Just throwing that out there. Like, if you can just master safe positioning, you can easily get to like high plat, even diamond, assuming you have the game sense and the mechanical aim, of course, to go along with it. Just from having safe positioning. So, anyways, I went on a little too much about that, but that was just kind of like a recap of the positioning class that I did before, in case you didn't make that, or you're not gonna end up watching that for whatever reason. So let's go ahead and continue. I'm gonna slow this down a little bit. Who is this? Oh, that's right. I forgot we have Darkness and Cookie are our two randos in comp. Okay, so I not too much I can say about that. So this is where I kind of, well, both of us as GS, we kind of slightly not messed up necessarily, but we could have had slightly better positioning. We should be, me pull up. Is this display? Oh, sweet, it is working perfect. Okay. All right. So realistically, at this point, because of the fact that the enemy team has kind of been is kind of getting a lot closer to us, we should by this point start drifting towards the corner over here. We should start playing around this corner just a little bit, so just so we can take advantage of the natural cover. We never actually want to rely on our barriers for protection. Okay, when it comes to cover as a team, regardless of what role you have, you should always, hey, what's up, Esteban? I am feeling a little bit better. I'm still a little sick, but I'm feeling a little bit better. We should always have the shields be the plan B, in terms of protection. Never actually rely on the shields, just because of the fact that, especially as you start climbing up, team start becoming a lot more efficient and a lot more quicker on trying to destroy the shield fast, so that way they can actually get the damage in that they want to. Hence what the whole, shield break meta and whatnot was about. I mean, that's up to your discretion, Simon, but I would rather be as thorough as possible, so that way people can understand exactly what's going on rather than being too vague. Okay. So, I mean, this is just my coaching style. Sorry if it's not your cup of tea. But anyways, just going. Yeah, see, like, we're hanging out in the open way too much already. We should already be, like, over here. We should already be, like, in this area. Just a little bit. We're still a little too far out. Like, I get we want to occupy space and, like, prevent them from wanting to push up, but because the cart's pushing up along with us, it's literally natural cover for them, and it's just gonna make things difficult for us. And if they break our shields, we're just left out in the open. So, like, now we're pushing back. Who's this? Oh, that's Sour. Sour's way out of position here. This, like, if this was a higher skill level, Sour would be dead right now. Okay. Okay. That was a pretty decent. that was a decent immortality field, but not really the greatest either. Honestly, it looked like Sour just got lucky with that immortality field and happened to save me. It didn't look like he was actually trying to save anybody. I'm not really too sure why he used it right there, but that's just from this third person perspective. Yeah, I understand what you mean by sometimes it drags out. Sometimes I do that. I tend to rant a little bit, so I understand where you're coming from. So right here, in an ideal situation, Cookie should be calling out the Zarya on the left side. I don't remember the comms, of course, but they should be calling the Zarya, and we as a team could have collectively just deleted the Zarya right here, which would have made things a little bit easier for us. So that way we can actually reclaim all this space right here, especially the natural cover with the car, a little bit with the health pack over here, kind of the lamp post. But it would have made it positioning just a little bit easier in this area overall. But because of the fact that I don't think anyone's calling up, just because of the fact that you're focused on the front line. Like in an ideal situation, like I hear it all the time in like comp games and whatnot, that because of the fact that like the tanks are busy with the front line, they can't really afford to look back and help deal with people in the back line or on the sides and whatnot. And that's not really true. And it depends on what tanks are playing. So tanks that have like deployable shields, like Winston, basically anybody that's not Reinhardt. Basically anybody that's not Reinhardt can easily take a second or two to look behind them and help put a little bit of damage into whoever's behind them, okay, to help out their team before going back to the front line, okay? Like in this case, if Cookie and I don't know who this is right there that's at the health back with Cookie and the Zarya. But if Cookie and whoever this is right there was calling out the Zarya to kill the Zarya, SGS, ideally, you should be hearing that call out, and you can easily like walk 2 steps up to the car and shoot your little balls at the Zarya and do some damage. Like Sigma does like 120 damage if you land both of his balls. So McCree's kind of out of position, and now we're pretty much losing this fight. Yeah, it's like a 3v6 at this point. This is a lost fight. And now you're separated. Everyone's separated. No one's really knowing how to work together right here. It's just kind of a free-for-all a little bit, at least in terms of our part. That was my mistake. I didn't mean to go that far with that charge. I was trying to pin somebody that was right in front of me, but I missed. So I knew as soon as I did that charge, I was dead. Or at least, how should I say it? I should have been dead. Luckily, due to this rank, I didn't die there, but I should have died. I charged it a little bit better. It's still a little risky. Like, quite honestly, it's a miracle we actually ended up retaking this point. Like, in higher skill levels, we'd have lost this point like immediately. Okay, especially with how separated everybody was, and the enemy team was still pretty collected and stuff. The enemy team had way more control of this point than we did, because we had like you as Sigma, you were like over here, there was like one person over here on our team, we had like maybe like 2 people over here, we had 1 dude up here. It was just way too separated that in a more coordinated team, they would have easily just been target calling and focus firing on one of us that's separated at each time. But like, all right, get the Baptistas right here, kill him, murk him off, okay. Murk him off over here. Then it's like, all right, since he's down, let's get these 2 people right here, murk them off, okay. Now it's just these 2 left, and it's like, well, at this point we already lost 3 people, so it's a GG, go next type scenario. Like, that's what would have happened at a higher skill level, but because of this being what was this, like a gold I don't know how I don't know what the skill rating was for this game, but it's definitely a goal game.
This will restore you.
Yeah, I was making a few mistakes with my charges. My charges weren't the greatest at the beginning. Yeah, this Ryan dies, I think. Yeah, he went way out of position. The Junkrat top left. I don't know if our Mei is coordinating the junk. I don't even know if the Mei knows the Junkrat's up there. It's good that Sour went to help assist the Mei. Okay, someone should be calling out the junk there. Backed off. I'm pushing forward. So right here, we're a little too separated. To be honest, I remember this because I'm trying to push up. I'm trying to intimidate the enemy team from advancing at all if possible. So at least I somewhat remember this, but I was trying to help occupy this corner right here. And SGS, you should ideally both tanks should more or less be near each other at all times, more or less. Okay, in order to help assist each other. 100. Gotcha. But yeah, ideally we like even if we are not even if like our tank combination isn't a main tank off tank combination, even if we're playing two main tanks together, okay, we should still be following some of the same concepts as you would with a main tank off tank, where you should be like assisting each other as much as possible regardless of which tanks you're playing. Unless you're playing like very independent heroes like Hammond. Hammond can't. It's kind of difficult to assist people with Hammond. You know what I mean? So unless you're playing a character like Hammond, then of course that doesn't really apply as much. But even at the second tank, depending on what the second tank is, can still assist the Hammond. So like if I'm playing Winston and my second tank is Hammond, I can still follow up on my Hammond's dives by diving where I see the Hammond's diving. Okay, so that's still me assisting the Hammond, even with little to no communication. And it's little moments like that that can help out a lot. So at least at this point, I was trying to take control of like this entire area by going up to the corner. But because of the fact that I knew that my team wasn't really pushing up as far as I would have liked. Like imagine the amount of pressure we would have had if we had our whole team in this area right here. The enemy team would not be able to push up, or at least not be as inclined to push up nearly as easily. As they are about to right here. Like, because right now we basically are just giving them free space because we're not occupying that space. Okay, but because I recognized I wasn't gonna get the support that I wanted in order to aggressively push them back, I think I started backing up here. Yeah, so like I'm playing cautious because I know that like no one's pushing up with me. Okay. So like ideally for Sour McCree, if you happen to be watching back at this, okay, if let's just say that let's just say that the rest of us were around this corner like I mentioned before, okay, ideally the two of you should probably like be in this section right here, or depending on how far back the enemy is along this street right here. Okay, stop, is along the street right here. Maybe even potentially like around this pillar or so, okay, but like in this general area essentially is what I'm trying to get at. That way you still have natural cover, you can back off easily in case they do advance, and should they advance you're not going to be split off from the rest of the team too. Okay, I remember this. I have absolutely, well, okay, not absolutely. I kind of understood what Sour was trying to do here with the what's it called, with the damage matrix that was right here. The only problem was that Sour, you used the damage matrix here way too early. Okay, the enemy is too far away from us in order to effectively take advantage of this, because all that's going to happen, and I'm pretty sure that the enemy team's probably going to do it, is because they're so far away from us, they just need to hide. They literally just need to hide and wait for it to disappear, and then they'll just re-engage, okay? Or at least a smart team would. All right. The more effective way, so like I know you're trying to like get in extra damage and try and get some picks quick, okay? If you want to go for more of that route, and I do it quite often as well when I play Baptiste, you typically want to wait till after the enemy team has clearly started committing towards engaging a team fight, okay? Right? Or at least how should I put it? At least gotten to the point where it's a little too late for them to back off from a team fight. Okay, they're already committed enough towards engaging that fight that it's too late for them to run away. Okay, so in a situation like that, in order to like kind of encompass that, imagine if the enemy team was right here instead of where here like they are right now. Okay, imagine how much harder it would have been if you pop the damage matrix right here while they're directly in front of us. Okay, because now the whole team, granted we don't have a lot of characters on our team that can actually make full use of the damage matrix, but even just Baptiste alone can still do a pretty good amount of damage with the matrix. Imagine if our whole team was shooting through the matrix at their team while they're directly right here. Even if the enemy team decides to try and back away, it's going to be a little bit difficult for them. They're going to be forced to kind of split up, essentially. Either they go this route and get forced to potentially get picked off because now they're entering kind of our zone that we're occupying. I should wear it. Our effective range of being able to hit them, or they kind of awkwardly go behind this car or back into the cafe here, which by that point we might have easily been able to break their shield and gotten a pick or two at the very least. It would have made things super awkward for them, where no matter what they do, it's not a great decision for them to make. And that's kind of like the sweet spot for Baptiste when using his damage matrix. If you're going to try and do something like that, is make it as difficult as possible for the enemy to do anything about it. What's going on right here? So like you can see right here, like exactly what I'm saying. They're literally just hiding from the damage matrix. They just have to wait for it to disappear because you popped it a little too early. They weren't close enough to create that situation I described. Okay, they're still far enough that they can choose to back away and disengage the initiation if they wanted to. Yes. So they're just completely avoiding the damage meter at this point, and it's about to fade away right now. There it is. It destroyed it. That's good. Okay. This Ryan, I was trying to charge that Ryan there, but I messed it up. This Ryan should die though. He should be dying. Hopefully we do kill him. Yeah, we kill him. We should kill his mortar. We should be able to. Nice.
Seconds remaining.
The power of destruction.
Again, preferably I would have liked to occupy the corner over here as a team, but I knew that wasn't going to happen, so I played back. What is happening? What is Darkness is having a hard time. What? Why did we ult right there? That was way too early. What? That was some bad blizzard.
10 seconds remaining.
So like now is when like the blizzard could have came in.
Огонь по готовности. This is my will.
Sour, you're way I don't know what was with this damage matrix either. Like, this is such an awkward damage matrix. No one on your team can make use of this. I think you realized that too once you used it, but yeah, it's just awkward. It should have been horizontal.
It's Hanu.
I will say that Sour, you're way too far up in the front line too. Oof. Like, we should have easily won this if our Mei didn't waste their blizzard for God knows what reason right here at the corner. I think what happened is that they just assume we won, so he was just wasting his cooldowns, which I hate it when people do that because it's never over until it's over. Yeah, that's what I assumed he did. He turned it sideways by accident. Of course, it doesn't change the result, which is ended up being awkward. Yeah, it's just the last fight. We should have won that easily, no questions asked, but we lost that because of stupid stuff. Yeah, we're just not in a good situation right now. Honestly, we should just be aiming to regroup here. Like, ideally, we should be trying to regroup here, not like pushing the fight with so many of us. But this is gold, so I mean, like, everyone's kind of trigger happy. That was
Get ready for a shot.
man. This is all over the place. I don't even know what to say. It's just all over the place. Our Mei player is just not good at all. I'm just gonna ignore that. I'm gonna ignore our McCree. At least in terms of Sour, one thing I will mention is that you're using damage boost now, but you keep in mind you can use damage boost for anybody on your team. It doesn't have to be the DPS. Okay, granted, yeah, of course, damage boost in the DPS makes it easier for them to get kills, but you want to keep in mind too that when you damage boost someone, it makes it easier for them to get their ult charge as well. So one of the things that I do when I play Mercy is I don't focus solely on who's likely to get get picks easier, okay, aka the DPS. Okay, I focus more on who needs the ult charge as well. Okay, so during little moments where it's kind of like the team fight is kind of spammy, okay, no one's really getting any decisive hits on each other, but it's kind of spammy, I'll try to focus on my teammates who I want to get their ult as fast as possible. Okay, so this is during those moments, or when I might focus on damage boosting my tanks or damage boosting my supports. Okay, if we have an Ana on our team, I might damage boost our Ana, so our Ana can get her ult as fast as possible because Nano is pretty effective. Especially if she's about to toss a nade in or something, that could easily get like a good chunk of ult charge for our Ana. Or if I notice that our Reinhardt is on the front line smacking a shit ton of people, damage boost our Reinhardt, because then he's gonna get his shatter freakishly fast. Okay, way faster than the enemy Reinhardt might get it. Okay, which could ultimately lead up to us winning that team fight, just because you're damage boosting the Reinhardt. So keep in mind that like you can damage boost other people besides just the DPS. And if you're to do so, it's more often than not so you can help them get their ult charge as fast as possible. Also keep in mind too that if you see that your teammate is healthy, you can just be damage boosting them. Like the best way to think about it is that unless the teammate needs healing, you should always be damage boosting. Okay. Like a lot of times I saw that you were when you were like hovering over here, you're primarily just on healing beam, even though the teammate was at a healthy health pool. Especially for tanks can get away with taking some damage, okay? Because of the fact that like tanks will more often than have like around 400 up to 600 health, and the little critical health symbol that appears when you're playing support, that little like red cross that shows like, oh, someone's low in health, they need to die soon. That's like a percentage of their health. I don't remember the exact number. I think it's like what, like if a teammate's like close to 25% of their health, I think. I don't know if it's less than 50% or if it's like 25%, something like along those lines. That's when the health cross symbol will pop up on that teammate. You gotta keep in mind though that because it's percentage based, that amount changes drastically for a tank compared to a DPS or support, who would typically have around 200 or 250 health. Okay, so even just like 20 or even just like 50% of health on a tank who is normally 600 HP, they still have 300 HP left. That's still a huge amount that they can survive with, on top of having damage mitigation abilities such as like barriers or like Diva with defense matrix and whatnot. They can easily survive a lot easier with that 300 health, even though it showed the critical health symbol, compared to any of the other roles. So it's okay to focus on trying to get the DPS or the support healed up first, so that way they're at least above that critical threshold before what's it called, using resources on your tanks to make sure that they're above the critical threshold as well. What's my peak? I think my peak was like 3150 on support, so low diamond essentially. Right now at the moment my support's at 2800. I'm trying to recover back my lost SR, but my peak was 3150. Anyways, forgot my train of thought. We'll continue. I remember seeing that. When we played that. I'm like, Cookie's gonna get himself killed. Especially when I saw that the enemy team was just coming around. I'm like, there wasn't much. I'm like, oh yeah, there I am. Okay, so I saw Cookie. So I actually pushed up right here. I'm playing Reinhardt in this game. I pushed up to help save Cookie because I saw Cookie was gonna get himself killed. I mainly play support, yes. I saw Cookie was gonna get himself killed, so I actually pushed up so that way I could protect him as he's trying to like recover, and then back off immediately. Okay, I kind of remember this moment in the comms too. I was immediately because I saw that the enemy team was pushing up here. This spot right here is actually very difficult to play with if you get stuck there, because there's no cover at all whatsoever. And obviously, if you end up dropping from the high ground to the low ground, that like it's bad for you, because it's harder obviously to fight on the low ground than it is on the high ground. So I saw this is where like my game sense kicked in, where I wanted to deny them as quickly as possible from being able to get around this corner that was right here. I wanted as quickly as possible to deny that, okay, because of what I just mentioned, that it's really difficult to defend this area just because there's no cover at all whatsoever. So I was pushing like alongside trying to save Cookie over here, was gonna get himself killed. I wanted to deny them from pushing up right here as quickly as possible. So I believe we ended up denying them this. Yeah. So like look how hard it is for them to engage this. They can't do anything about it. As soon as I got to that corner and our team supported me in it, they couldn't do anything about it. And now we're just doing cleanup right here. It looks like they're trying to do the same here. Cookie's getting self-killed. He's trying to be too much a frontline. I saw that the McCree... I don't know if I saw the McCree split off. But now I'm just trying to do the same things I did before. Just deny them from taking this corner. Make it as hard as possible. The only difference this time is that... Let me slow it down. The only difference this time is I don't really have the full support of my team as I did last time. So I kind of have to back off. Okay. But it still made it difficult for them. Now they're kind of split up. That's a much better Blizzard. I didn't need to use my ult there. I kind of reacted late, to be honest, to the Blizzard. I didn't need to use my shatter there at all. We won the point though. I have some good answers. I'm a high masters and a brick play. Nice. Nice. I'm actually an anime myself, so I could always use some help too. I love Brig. Brig's nice. It takes a little adjusting for me to use Brig. I think this last week or two is the most I've been playing Brig this season.
Switching sides.
But yeah, if you have any advice, like feel free to input your comments. Particularly on supports too. We don't have access to comms, of course, so that obviously puts a little twist in things. It's hard to know what people are actually focusing on right here. I one thing that I just to kind of throw out there for Sour and some of the other supports that I remember from watching from our other scrims in the past. Okay, well, it's hard to say this. Let me say this in Sour in particular, because I remember watching back and looking at your Twitch VOD from these games. I noticed that Sour, you like to play, at least for that Twitch VOD you had, you like to play the game while playing music in the background. And at least for me personally, I would highly go against doing so, just because of the fact you're missing out on a lot of sound cues. Just because of how cluttered the audio and on top of comms are in Overwatch and stuff like that, it's very easy for you to miss out on certain sound cues just because of the fact you're playing music. Something as simple as maybe like, I don't know, a Doomfist walking up behind you, you would very easily be able to miss that just because of the fact you're playing music in the background. She does well against Rush Metal. Brig does great against like a lot of things, to be honest. I find she does decent. I mean, it kind of depends, of course. Obviously, depending on the map and the comps and whatnot. But in the right scenario, she does decent with dive characters, helping them engage and stuff. Obviously against dive characters and stuff. Obviously really good with rush. Kind of depends on against rush because it obviously depends on your team composition. Yeah, I feel like she's just really well diversified. I feel like the main thing that I'm that's kind of difficult with her is the fact that like I feel like a lot of her successfulness is how good your tanks are. Practice aim all the time with Ana. Oh yeah, I definitely agree. And the lifeline of your team is Reinhardt, so you want to put all possible resources into him. I think we're attacking now. We're attacking now, yeah.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What am I playing? I'm playing Winston.
Stop the payload.
I remember. I kind of remember. So one thing that I remember doing when I swapped to Winston is like Winston's actually really good at gold and below. Just because people don't really punish you as live. Like there's a lot of dives I'll be making a lot of these games that I'll be looking at that honestly I should be getting punished for, but I know I wasn't gonna get punished for it, so I started doing it. Yeah, I agree, Anthony. Reinhardt's kind of like right now in the current meta. For anybody watching, Reinhardt's kind of like in a way the one and only actual main tank, if that makes sense. At this point in time, it's like you can pretty much run Reinhardt in like any combination of other tank. But yeah, that's kind of like the best way to put it. So I'm kind of adding on to your comment, Anthony. Yeah, our Mei's not the good. Like honestly, we could have walled out that Ryan easily and solidified that kill. I countercharged. Oh no, that's not it. SJS countercharged. I forgot I'm Winston this game. Right now, like at least me and Winston, my primary focus right here was just trying to help support SJS on Reinhardt as much as possible. Yeah. Okay. But at least me and Winston, I'm just trying to support SGS as much as possible right here by making sure that none of the enemy team can just slip through into the middle of our team or whatnot. And I'm just throwing extra damage, especially when SGS is putting up a shield. And then, yeah, as I did right there, I was just like waiting for key moments where I can actually like jump in and harass people. So I'm like harassing I was like harassing the supports and stuff right there, and they ended up being split. But I was trying to harass the supports right there and make it a lot harder for them to actually like get heals. Because now the supports were just occupied with me that they can't really heal their teammates. And because it's gold, like even the enemy's teammates aren't really looking at me even as I'm in their backline. Which is kind of what I was trying to say before. Like, this is gold. Like I'm getting away with stuff I normally shouldn't be getting away with. Oh, I remember this. I was bullying this hog. We straight up bullied this hog. I would not let him out of this corner. We should have killed this. I don't know how this hog did not die. Like, we're pumping in so much. I don't know why. We didn't need to beat there. We kind of didn't even need to use coalescence. We should have killed that hog, no questions asked, but he didn't die for some reason. That Blizzard had no follow-up. Like, quite honestly, we used so much resources right here before we even got to the main fight that we could have easily gotten this point if we didn't waste so many resources. At most, realistically, my primal should have been like the only thing that actually got used over here in this corner. We used way too many resources in this corner right here. And that would be just primarily to keep the hog in the corner, and then everybody else just kill the hog. But well, slow down a little bit. That was a good pin. We should be. Oh, he backed off. Okay. I don't know how he got bounced. Oh, he got booped. Okay. Hog's kind of a problem. I believe we were calling out the hog a little bit. I came in to harass the Mercy. I don't know if I died up there or not. We're getting split up now though, which is good. Can we watch that from the hog's perspective? Sure. I'm trying to get back to where he starts getting bullied. I think it's like right around here. This hog. That. Yeah. Like, I am legitimately just trying to bully this hog and get him off. And this guy is single-handedly. Like, he should have died here. He legitimately should have died here. Like hog right here got so much value for no reason. Legitimately no reason. It's stupid. He should have died. Like within seconds he should have died. And he still survives this whole thing. Like, how many ultimates did we use at this point? And the enemy team is still alive, especially the hog. We use beat. I use primal. We use coalescence. We just used Deadeye. I don't know. Did we just use Blizzard? Yeah, we just used Blizzard. We used basically everything. No, he still takes damage. He just takes, I think it's like 50 or 25% less damage, I think. Something like that. There's damage mitigation, but he still takes damage. But the whole point is he was being focus fired, or at least he should have been more focus fired than he was. We had our whole team on our hog. Even with the damage mitigation, he still should have died. That's the whole point I'm trying to get across. Especially with a Mei on our team. He should have died. He didn't though. It was dumb. Like, this hog is not getting punished. I was bullying this hog this entire time. Finally he dies. Jesus, though. Alright, let's leave that game. Numbani.
Traveling to Numbani. Ready for battle.
Which, I think we're on red team? Yeah, we're red team. So we're on attack.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
I think we go top left for this first push. So, at least from my own experience, okay. Normally, the objective right here, as a support, okay, especially for Baptiste. Baptiste is honestly low-key broken for this specific spot on this map as an attacker, okay? Just because of the fact that Baptiste can literally farm his ult here. He can get his ult so fast in this spot. It's nuts. Just because of the fact that you can just spam your healing, just spam your shift 2 to heal everybody. I don't want to join your group just yet, SGS, just because if I do, it'll cancel the VOD. But yeah, you can farm your ultimate like nuts here. You can use your shift, your healing grenades, obviously, of course, and then if they still get low, you just throw your lamp. You just throw your lamp here in the corner, so you know it's hovering right here behind the wall. Saves everybody right here in this corner, and then you're literally your team could literally just farm their ults in this spot right here way more effectively than the defense can do over there. It's just nuts though. So at least for me, when I'm playing Baptiste, or at least how should I say, if we're playing this map on attack, I will specifically ask before we even like pick our characters for our comp, are we going top left? Because if we are, that's an automatic Baptiste pick for me a lot of times. And then I just focus on farming our ults as fast as possible in this corner right here, and then depending on how it goes, I can just use the damage matrix in in the doorway, somewhere in the doorway, so we can start pushing through. It's so effective. Anyways, it was just my little rant. We ended up pushing through this really easily though. I don't think the enemy team was ready for that to defend that high spot. Sour, you should still be on high ground. There you go. Now you're back on high ground. Who's on point? Oh, it's Reinhardt. Ah. What? That's right, we're red team. Three ultimates. We're getting close to Shatter as well. So at least right here, one thing that I might start getting ready to do, Sour, especially since you have damage matrix right here. One thing that I would start getting ready to do is start getting ready to use your damage matrix somewhere along the corner right here, okay? Somewhere in this area. Just because of how close the enemy is and how out in the open they are. The only thing that's pretty much protecting the enemy team right now is the barrier. So if we use damage matrix somewhere in the middle between our team and their team, we can quickly burn down their shield and easily start getting some picks with the damage matrix, just with the damage matrix alone. This is that situation that I was trying to describe earlier on the first map, where you want to create a situation where it's difficult for the enemy to run away when you use your damage matrix, so that we can start solidifying higher value, if that makes sense. That was a bad engage on our Doomfist part. That was a clean shatter. I think we stomped them this game. Or this round, I should say. Yeah, I remember pushing back the supports like really far. I think I ended up dying here though, but I pushed them back really far. That we basically got to the second point for free. Yeah, I think we just stomped here. I remember SGS wondering like how the heck did he die from that.
The payload is approaching its destination.
I've got you in my sights.
Wish you could speed this up. Like this was a lot better use of damage matrix. It was still not the greatest just because of the fact that most of the teams are already kind of behind cover and it's really kind of just Ryan. But even just this alone can still get way better value compared to your previous matrices that you did in the past. One thing I will note as well is that you kind of waited a really long time to actually use matrix. But I will say, to kind of go against what I just said too, to be fair, you also didn't really need to use matrix because we were kind of stomping them so hard already. So just a little bit of both to kind of throw out there. That was a nice counter charge. He dies. Yeah, we should win this though now. They lost their main tank. They lost a few people already, and now it's just playing up. Yeah, that was an easy one.
Initiating match.
I don't know. Did we roll them this whole on defense too?
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds. Five, four, three,
Okay, so Honest playing Sour in this one.
attackers
I want to see how this does.
defend
I'm the Honest playing Sour. Sour's playing Honest. Can't talk. Where's... Okay, there's Honest. So... Okay, so... There's a few things I want to point out, Sour. Which is where, you have the right idea here, okay? This is obviously a great spot for Ana. But there's a few things that you just want to make sure you keep in mind when you're occupying this spot, which is because of the fact that you don't know what the enemy's going to run. And you're kind of alone at this moment. Should the enemy run any sort of flanker to come and get you, whether it be a Genji or Trace or something, you're going to have a difficult time defending against that, okay? So in an ideal situation, you would want to have the enemy McCree near you, okay? And the best way to kind of go to help that is you don't actually have to strictly stay in this spot. Because of the fact that your McCree is on high ground with you, you're actually a little bit better off actually moving towards your McCree up here, okay? The enemy's not far enough ahead just yet where being up front is bad for you, okay? So you can actually still move up at least a little bit, probably at the very least like to this spot right here, to be a little bit closer to McCree. So should you need McCree's help, if the enemy is running a flanker of some sort, your McCree can move quicker to you and you can move quicker to your McCree as well. So you can actually assist each other. Having a 2v1 is always a lot more beneficial compared to having a 1v1, especially if it's against an enemy flanker, DPS or something. Or hell, if the enemy is running like a Winston and the Winston just randomly jumps to you, okay, 2v1 is still a lot better than a 1v1. All right, so you have the right idea, but you just want to keep in mind that if you have like a DPS on the high ground with you, you want to try and stick close to them. In situations where you don't have someone on the high ground with you, you might actually want to consider against being on the high ground on here, unless you're just like absolutely 100% confident in your mechanics, in which you think you could get away with dueling a 1v1. It should have come to that. Okay. But just keep in mind that if you don't have someone on the high ground with you, it's a lot riskier for you to actually be up here. In which case, if you're not really too confident in being able to take a 1v1, you're probably better off just being more closer to your team over here instead. It wasn't even running. It's like the enemy's running Reaper Genji right here. See what happens. I don't know if we steamrolled them on defense too. It's looking like we are. I'm pretty sure I remember Reinhardt dying somewhere here. Yeah, he dies right here. Okay, this is working against me. Wait, where's Anna? There she is. That was good picks. You didn't need to jump there. You had no reason to jump from the high ground, Sour. You were doing just fine. No one was contesting. You can easily help out this entire point just from the high ground up there. I don't know why you jumped down.
Get ready for a shock.
I remember I was trying to boop him off the edge of the map here with my primal, but it didn't work out, so I ran away. Yeah, Reaper's on point. Oh, that should be death. I don't know how you didn't die. Should have died.
60 seconds remaining. Objective lost. Stop the payload.
All right, let me look at this. I want to look at this from Sour's perspective.
Objective lost. Stop the payload. I will keep you
Okay, so
here.
at this point, you're already a little too far forward. You shouldn't really ever be like within point blank distance of your tanks, realistically. Okay, unless you're being harassed by like an enemy flank or something, and you need to be in like grouped up with your team to ward off the flankers. For the most part, you don't ever really want to be near your tanks. Like you're too exposed, you're too far forward, you're too exposed right here. Like you have no business being in this spot. You should be much further back, like McCree is. Okay, not in the spot that McCree is, but just much further back. Yeah, I was about to say you could easily be like towards the bus. Like you have no business being this close. Like you could easily just stand near the bus and just be just as effective. I should also add it's a lot easier to aim if you're farther away too, because then you don't actually have to move around as much. It's a lot easier to aim when you don't have to move. And if you're farther away and you have a sniper rifle too, like you're making it more difficult on yourself because you're being so close to the action. You don't need to be close to the action. You're not playing Moira or Mercy or anything that you have to be like close to your teammates in order to be effective.
I have your back.
Like yeah, like you have no business being right here.
Hands off. The pain is
You're getting kind of greedy right here, because it looks to me like you think you're pretty sure you can get away with being up front, and I think that's kind of part of what's holding you back a little bit. Because at higher skill levels, this is not gonna fly. This is straight up, like, legitimately, this is not gonna fly. You're gonna die way more often, and you want to try and live as long as possible. Like, realistically, the goal, if you're gonna die, okay, like, if you have to die, you want to try and die last amongst everybody on your team, okay? And that kind of applies to all supports that you play, not just Ana. Where ideally, if the whole team is gonna die, you want to be among the last to die as the support. That was a waste of Nana. Like, I get what you were trying to do there with the Nano, but because we were already grabbed and the situation was just so uncertain, you never really want to use a Nano reactionary. And sometimes it's okay, but for the most part, you always want to try and use Nano in a proactive situation. Proactively, I guess you could say, rather than reactively. You get a lot more value off a proactive Nano compared to a reactive Nano. And this is a situation where it was just pure reactive. You didn't, at least to me, doesn't seem like any solid reason why you want to Nano. Like, what value were you trying to gain from using Nano right here? Okay, that's kind of what I'm trying to get at a little bit. Like, there is no value from using Nano right here. The most value you get is potentially saving the tank, but at what cost? You and Reinhardt dying? In which case, at what value does that get? Because, like, sure, maybe I as Winston survive, but then now the team's at a 4v6. We're probably still gonna lose that team fight. In which case, the Nano was pointless. I would have rather just died with the two of you in that grab and regrouped as a team later on, so that way we can push up, and we would still have Nano at that point, and then we can re-engage with Nano in a more proactive manner. Somehow you didn't die. You're too close. You're way too close. Like this is the sound cue part that I was talking about earlier, where because of the fact you're playing music in the background, you're missing out on certain sound cues. Like, I've heard twice already, two of your teammates ask for healing, like using the I need healing command in game. Okay, and you didn't even remotely look at them. So, like, just right now, our Junkrat asked for healing. Not so long ago too, I as Winston asked for healing. All right, and I don't know if it's just because you didn't hear it because of the music, or if you were just so focused on the fight that you weren't paying attention to it. Okay, neither of those two are obviously a good thing, but one of them could obviously be easily changed, which is just not having the music on. Hell, he's even asking for it right here, and you're not even healing him. Like, what the heck? There you go. Like, that was so late. You tried. That wasn't the greatest night, to be honest. Point this out. It's obviously too late, and I saw what you were trying to do, but just to kind of throw it out there. So, like, right here at this moment, we're already occupying quite a good chunk of space. Okay, we are in possession of this area essentially. All right. What you are looking for to do, what you should be looking for to do with your nades right now, is to try and get antis on enemy team, so that way we can help solidify kills as the tanks and any of your in the rest of the team who happen to be nearby. Okay, you can single-handedly win a lot of these fights that are about to happen at this spot if you use a correct anti-nade. Like right here. I don't know what your intent was here. I don't know if you were trying to throw at the enemy team or if you're just trying to chuck it at the fight here. Okay, I don't know if you were trying to heal us or trying to answer them or whatnot. But it, at the very least, it looked like you were, regardless of what your intent was, it looks to me like you were just chucking it rather than you had purpose for chucking it, if that makes sense. Okay. It looked like you were just trying to get some value out of it rather than trying to get specific value out of it. If you were able to at least focus on what was happening, okay, and understand what was happening, you probably could have gotten a lot easier anti-nade off. So let's just watch the tanks real quick. Okay. Okay. This happens. Blah blah blah. Okay. You started shooting the Reaper, trying to get the Reaper. You miss, and then you just chuck it. Okay, I don't think you evaluated the situation here to realize that the enemy team was too far away and that they're using barrier and bubble to protect themselves. That you weren't really going to get much value off your anti-nade. Okay, if you had waited a little bit and waited for that moment when the enemy tanks start trying to brawl it out with our tank, so in this case our Reinhardt, that would have been the moment to actually chuck the anti-nade, because now their defenses are down. That's where you can get the anti off. You should not be this close. Like even right here, like as soon as you get your anti-nade is about to come back in 2 seconds. Like this is coming close to another anti-nade moment where you could. Now you have nade. Okay. Now once the enemy team starts getting close to your Reinhardt and they don't have bubble or barrier in the way, that's when you chuck an anti-nade at them and that can more or less solidify a kill or two easily right there too. Okay. So it looked like you had the right intention. You were trying to hit them with the anti-nade, but you rather than aiming at the ground, you should have aimed at the ground. You tossed it straight at them. You have no reason to actually want to try and directly hit an enemy with an anti-nade. Okay, like the nade itself has a big splash area of effect damage. Like your goal is just to hit them with the splash and they'll be anti. You don't have to hit them directly. I noticed you've done that a few times too. Good. Again, you can be a little bit further back. You don't have to be this far up forward. I saw what you were trying to do there. Like you have no benefit from being point blank to the fight. Like, look at this. You see how easily you died here? It's entirely because you're sticking way too close to your tanks. If you were further back, you legitimately could have survived this entire ult, okay, along with survived any sort of attack that happened here, just because you're not standing right next to your tanks. Just stand further back, okay? Unless you have an enemy flanker that's harassing you the whole time, or enemy harassing you regardless the whole time, you have no purpose being so close to your team. Sure, you want to be close to your team, but you don't need to be next to your team, or should I say, you don't need to be on your team. Like, let me actually pull this back a little bit. Let me go back. I was trying to think about how could I show this, and I remember how I could show it. That's, what the heck is that? Oh, there we go. Here's the button. Okay. Let's play this out a little bit.
60 seconds remaining.
Right? Like, look how far up you are. Honestly, you could easily be by the car over here. You could be over here by the staircase. You could be over here by the pillar. You could easily be like this far back and still be just as effective. Where is it? I want to get to the moment where the Rhine pins. There we go. So at this moment, okay, where the Rhine's getting pinned, okay, you could easily be just as effective to help your Rhine if you were like over here, like I suggested before, okay, or over here, okay, not smack dab right next to both of them as they're swinging. Let me play this out. Okay, so look how, like, you could easily get hit by the Reinhardt swing. You have no, like, if you're right here, you would not get hit at all. You could still help your Rhine. You could still potentially anti the enemy Rhine and heal your Rhine at the same time and solidify this kill, all without having to worry about getting damaged at all. And the Reaper's about to ult here too.
Don't move.
Okay, Reaper's coming in. You got shattered. If you were playing behind cover far away enough from your team, chances are you might not have even gotten shattered. Okay. You could have been far away. If you were, let's say you were over here, like I mentioned before, you probably, if your reflexes were fast enough, you probably could have reacted to the shatter, to the sound cue of the shatter before it actually lands. You could have reacted to the sound cue just enough that all you needed to do was take a step in the left direction to hide behind cover, and boom, you're not affected by it. Okay, you don't need to make any grand gesture to avoid the shatter. You just need to take a step to the left. Heck, even if you were hiding on the staircase, like right here and stuff, you probably could have done the same thing. Just step to the left a little bit, and now the shatter is more likely to not going to hit you because now of the elevation difference right there too. But because you're so close to the fight, you're gonna get hit with whatever gets thrown out there. So you got hit by shatter. In this case, you're also gonna hit by the blossom. If you weren't so close to the action, you literally could have avoided both of those ults and still be helping your Ryan, even after all these deaths, after I die as Winston.
This is my will. 30 seconds remaining.
All right, their Ryan should die right here. No, what are you doing? Don't. I'm really torn about this. It's, let me watch from your perspective. Okay. Personally, I wouldn't have gone so far up out in the open like this. Just because of the fact that it was, at least to me, it was very obvious you weren't going to get any help should you be focused on. It was a good thing you were still helping our Reinhardt to win the Reinhardt 1v1. But you were risking your own positioning, essentially. Right? You were still helping them, but you were turning your back on the enemy team who were on point while also trying to help contest point. Like, it's just, you were trying to do too many things at once that it ended up compromising yourself. It's you're lucky that no one took advantage of it, but you still were compromising yourself.
Victory.
Okay. I think that's gonna be it for the odds. for now, and then this for a hot minute. Actually, start playing. I haven't played in a hot minute either, so I need to warm up a bit. Who's on? Give me a second. Oh, fuck it. I'm gonna warm up a bit. I haven't streamed Overwatch in a hot minute. If you guys don't mind either, well, I'll leave the face cam on for now. I usually turn it off when I play Overwatch. No. I was looking for the try-hard free-for-alls. Let me open my own. Hopefully that helps. Did I... I think it was... Which one? Everyone...
Arriving at Shadow.
I'm just gonna have to wait. Oh!
With
I didn't mean
every
to hit
death
that.
comes honor.
No! Oh, that's right. F to interact. Here we go.
Never stop fighting for what you believe in.
Might just do regular deathmatch at this point, if no one's gonna show up. Perfect. There's regular deathmatch. I'll do deathmatch while waiting for deathmatch.
Welcome to Paris.
Never stop fighting for what you believe in.
Taken the lead.
Bruh.
Now traveling to Petra. Prepare for battle. Select your hero. Three, two, one, fight.
Never stop fighting for what you believe in.
It's definitely been a hot minute. My mechanics feel so rusty. Oh, that's great. Literally landed in it as soon as I drop. I'm dead. Oh my god.
All soldiers are hard to kill.
Oh wow. I thought he was on the ground. I didn't know he was next to me.
Anyway.
15 kills to win.
I Oh what?
Get to you.
See, this is why I do a try hard free for all. To avoid
All
characters like
soldiers
Moira.
are hard to kill.
They just need to look in a direction, they don't even have to aim.
All soldiers are hard to kill.
This is I hate Junkrat with a burning passion.
لسه في ناس لازم احميهم.
It's just everywhere I go.
لسه في ناس لازم احميهم. I feel like I can take on the world. Someday, Reinhard, but not today.
Come on.
لسه في ناس لازم احميهم. نام.
Hmm.
Lights out. Get back off.
Oh my god, Moira, leave me alone.
All soldiers are hard to kill. Healing enough.
I'm dead. Oh.
Enemy needs 5 kills to win.
Go to sleep. Die, Peter. Healed up.
What the? Just 2 Reinhardts now.
You're not getting rid of me that easily.
Enemy needs 4 kills to win. Enemy needs 3 kills. Enemy needs 2 kills.
I cannot be stopped. Heal up.
Enemy
Oh,
needs
yep.
1 kill.
Uno. Okay. I'll just go into a comp game.
Welcome to Blizzard World.
Never stop fighting for what you believe in. هيلا اتعلم من الألم. هيلدا. واحدة.
You are nothing without the turtle.
What?
داعي كده.
دي البابا دي.
Got him.
Lights out.
Oh, come on!
My team still needs me.
Oh no.
Welcome, shopper, to the Nexus
Patch
experience.
that. اسمع كلام اللي أكبر منك. هيلدا. Get here.
Accepting more passengers now. Join your
It will only hurt for a minute. I cannot be stopped. This will help.
I'm just, I was gonna say, I'm like single-handedly harassing these two.
This is much better than cabana on the beach.
Come on.
داعي كده.
taken the lead.
Feeling sleepy?
Come on!
I've come back from work. Ahlan? Hello there. Healing in hand.
Okay.
Welcome to Oasis. Prepare for battle. Select your hero.
I will be your shield.
Our courageous cow. The years haven't changed you much, have they, Jesse?
I certainly haven't changed my feelings about working with you.
There we go.
Capture the objective.
Genji left side.
I found it.
Så gott som nu. That should be better. I'll take care of it. Shield taken damage. You might want to keep your distance.
Dang it.
Back this up.
I'm under attack.
Where is he? I was gonna say I hear him, but I don't see him.
Step right up. Thanks.
Taking heavy fire.
Where'd he go?
Just stay out of my way. Let me patch that up. Feeling better?
Oh no.
I got you. Back this up. My shield's up. With wood.
Best round 1.
Огонь по готовности.
That wasn't too bad. I didn't feel like I got to do as much as I would like, but
1 0.
I mean, just throwing the repair pack on the Doomfist alone, he had like, you see how many shields he had? He had like a stupid amount of shields.
In glorious combat.
We all have our jobs to do.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Round 2. Capture the objective.
Oh, hey, Holly.
Let me patch that up. That should be better.
Top right.
I'm under attack. More vegetables now. Step off. Everyone, on the objective. Let me patch that up. I claim this objective.
Dang, I missed.
My barrier can't take much more. My barrier's down. Rally to me. You've taken damage. I got this. You're making this easy for me. Fixing you up. Hunting you up.
Oh my god, I got booped all over the place right there.
Back to the drawing board.
Fire in the hole!
I've got you covered.
Victory. Play of the game.
Oh, what'd I do? I didn't even feel like I did too much.
Rally to me.
Double.
Why was it? Okay. I didn't feel like I did too much, but okay. I felt like I was just kind of waiting for the enemy to make a mistake.
Welcome to Paris.
Never stop fighting for what you believe in.
Oh, oh, she killed herself.
Healed up.
Nope, 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 nope.
Patched up. اتعلم من الألم. Go to sleep. Healed up. This will help. Hands off.
Dang it.
I'm not ready to hang it up. Heal up.
Dang it. I was trying to do something to juke him, but I messed it up.
You're not getting rid of me that.
Oh my god.
This is much better than a cabana on the beach.
Traveling to Busan. Prepare for battle. Select your hero.
You keep getting control maps.
I will be your shield. Of course. How else can I bail you out when you get into trouble?
Believe me, I'd get welcome to wear the armor and all, but following the old man around must be nothing but trouble.
I don't see it that way. To me, it's an honor.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Round 1. Capture the objective.
You'll take it away. Take it away now.
Catching you up. Shield's taking damage.
Walk left. They have a Junkrat trap on point. I got rid of it.
That should be better.
Junk 1, I'm slept. I'm gonna get charged. The Rhine is less than half on point. Sorry, I'm one. He can't get healed. Swing into him. Is he on me on point? I need assistance. Thank you.
Let me patch that up.
My ultimate is charging.
I've got you.
I can't see it till good spot.
I could use some healing.
Play point, back up. Support our Rhine, guys. Don't let him be in there by himself.
We're down a healer. Or no, we're not.
What are you talking about?
I saw that Anna die and I thought it was you.
Me.
I mistook it.
It's okay, dude. I'd call out if someone was killing me.
My shield's up.
Howdy.
Alright. If they blade, I'm probably gonna rally.
Someone top left. It's their Junkrat. Tires coming top left.
Shield's holding.
Oh, fuck. Uh-oh. Get away from me, everybody! I don't want to be near you!
Oh, lived.
I'm dropping. I have no choice. I'm one. There's Arya's Angie. Angie's behind on me. Yo, McCree. Get on point. The thing, that's huge, dude. Nice.
Did the Genji blade?
I don't think so.
Hello.
No, he didn't. God, I'm gonna stay near you for the blade.
Nice, we got beat out. Oh, I could have slept him, I'm sorry. Alright, they used... Okay, they used a fuck ton of ults for this, but whatever. Okay, they used Nano Blade, they used Shadow Beast. That's 4.
They used Tire not so long ago too.
Wait. Yeah, but they should have... They should have Tire.
I didn't see him doing a lot of damage that fight.
Yeah, I don't think he has Tire.
Play right.
Okay, I was trying to.
That's fun.
I'll take care of you.
Another Sue's up there. Not bad.
Shield's taking
Guys, we gotta go right side with our tank.
I've got you covered.
Come now. Come, boys. Come.
That's the soft.
Okay, I might get charged. Oh, nice hook. Let's win the fight, dude. There's Arya's low. Junkrat Tire coming up the top. Yep.
So got some meat.
How about the Zarya?
I'm
Nice.
getting.
Score 1-0.
I always dreamed of the day we would fight together.
Wanting a better life for you with all our
You hear the squeaky of the chairs, dude?
Or what?
Greetings.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Round 2. Capture the objective.
They have Doomfist. They have May. Oh man, I'm gonna have fun this round.
Shield's holding. I've got
I'm stuck.
I'm under attack.
Yeah. I knew I was gonna die there.
Alright, we're gonna need some stun for their team. And Reaper.
I'm gonna turn off the face cam.
McCree. Not going McCree.
Scope it up.
Or a Sombra or May. Or Sombra. If you can, Sombra.
Feeling better.
I'm not confident enough on Sombra.
I don't know how to
That's
walk
fine.
out here without getting walled, dude.
Back this up.
I did the
I
punish.
really just messed up that wall.
They're just waiting for our Ryan to walk out, and they're just gonna wall him.
What the?
Jota hamnande. Ready for more. Feel better soon.
If I walk out here, I'm gonna get walled. God, I hate May and Doomfist.
We can go left side.
We can go below, actually.
Yeah, Fate going left side and then go below. Nice.
I'm slapped.
Oh, damn.
That means free shadow. Oh,
Oh,
big wall, dude.
wall.
Mine is better, but I die.
Damn it, they may all take it. Oh, I LOS'd it. Sweet.
Wait, I thought I was outside of that. How did I still get frozen?
Fuck, they're comfy.
Never mind. I was saw a different.
Drawing board.
I'm gonna swap.
No dying on my watch.
I can't touch, someone else needs to.
Get in here.
Get me.
Score 1-1.
Okay. I don't know if I should go back to break or stay on BAP. Really break for now.
I could have used a little
See-
more time to get ready.
If they go back to if they stay in the May, I'm gonna go with BAP.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Round 3. Capture the objective.
That should be better.
I'm going point.
Feeling better.
I don't want
The
that.
Reaper May, that sure is fun.
I don't know nade.
I'm taking damage.
We're on a shift.
I got the Reaper.
I'm walled.
On the left side
More
alone.
left side.
On his left side alone.
Or
Shoots
one
one.
shot on point, more dead. Sorry, half on point. Sorry, one's dead. I got a McCree instead of Reaper.
Good as new.
Still got the May too. What?
Feeling better?
Man, yo, what a hook, dude.
All low.
McCree's one shot.
Fixing you
Not
up.
gonna die.
I've got you covered. Let me patch that up.
Back, back, back.
Hi.
Yeah.
Yeah, not the best use of rally. I kind of did it. I thought we had more teammates alive. Oh,
Okay,
that
they
was
have
my
Blizzard.
fault.
This is not the end of the world.
Didn't realize we were so split up.
No dying on my watch.
Hi.
Burst activated.
That maid's looking for a wall.
All better.
Or
One
in a
play.
wall.
You got that
Problem,
matrix?
that's
That's easy.
Oh, nice.
Going up.
The Rhine is anti.
Nice, old frozen.
Ana's the left side alone.
Moira's on point still.
What?
That poor May, I heard her pull out her wall, so I knew exactly where she was.
Yeah, you destroyed her though. I appreciate you doing that.
Someone's looking out for me.
Hi.
My ultimate is almost ready.
Frozen, come back. That's not spot. Yeah, I've shut up, but set a C.
I just got solo high.
I have a problem here.
Damn it.
I'm dead. Do it then. Kill me.
Maintain that positive attitude.
He was one shot. I'm an idiot.
I antied their main Zarya.
Step right up.
I'm slept.
No, our Rhine's in danger. Up our Rhine on point, guys.
Same.
He really held it for that long.
Your Moira is sucking me. You guys don't have both healers right now, you just have BAP.
Winnable.
I have May on me. I cannot play the game.
BAP, help our right. Help our right.
Oh, I'm
He's
almost
putting
dead.
resources into Ryan. Ryan can't fall.
Help, 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 help.
Hey, one.
Damn.
God, I fucking hate May, dude.
GG's.
Good try,
Good try,
dude.
guys.
Play of the game.
Oh, welcome. Unfortunate.
Double kill. Double kill.
Was close.
Now traveling to Petra.
Never stop fighting for what you believe in. Name, Hila. Much better.
Oh, dang it. Dang it. I was going to land right on top of that.
التكرار يعلم الشطار.
There's 3 Annas. Oh, okay.
Patched up. Get here.
What is this Tracer doing? What?
I wasn't cut
Where
out
are
for
the other
recording
Annas?
anyways.
It says there's 2 of them, but now we got Sombra. That's cool. Sombra's up here.
Traveling to Eichenwald. Prepare your defenses. Select your
Why are
hero.
there 2 frogs? Why are there 3 frogs?
Science will reveal the truth.
Let's gather some valuable data on this mission.
Actually, better yet.
Incoming.
I don't know if kind of want to go back.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Defend
Power of
objective A.
destruction.
Let's get this done.
Allow me. Allow me to repair the damage. Injured again. Get into position. Surrender to my will.
Yeah, that was my fault. I knew it as soon as I got booped for. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna die.
When faced with a setback, we must challenge our assumptions. This will restore you.
my god. Can't.
Objective lost.
We must
Stop
all
the
make
payload.
sacrifices in the name of science. Injured again.
There's a Junkrat top left, on top of the castle.
Allow me to repair the damage. My will made real.
Oh boy.
Surrender to my will.
Oh boy. No! Are you kidding me?
When faced with a setback, we must challenge our assumptions.
Experience tranquility.
This is my will. Double, you seem in need of aid. Get into position. I will not make you. Been there.
Ice wall coming up.
The power of destruction. Regenerating the cellular structure.
Tactile visor activated. Toxicity.
Just Junkrat.
That changes my thinking. Allow me to repair the damage. Surrender to my will. I require assistance.
Ryan's low. Ryan's low.
Your name of hold.
Someone's on top. Get McCree's on top. Right side, Junk.
Watch from afar.
60 seconds remaining.
Get into position.
Up top, McCree. Oh shit, my mic's muted on the. I hate it when it does that. I don't understand why it does it either.
Allow me.
Enemies here.
My will made. They must not get past. This will heal you.
This is awkward. This is super awkward.
Your strength. Surrender to my will.
Tactile visor activated.
I will not be
1. Switching sides. Prepare to attack. Select your hero.
Where's... I want to see the recent players. That's what it is. I want to... I want to avoid Mr. Steal Your Kill.
Science will reveal the truth.
I will not let the fate that befell this place happen to my country.
Attack commences in 30 seconds.
A disciplined mind is your most dependable ally.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attack commences. Capture objective.
Regenerating your cellular structure. I cast this illusion.
Double.
Dang.
I'm restoring you. It's going to hurt.
I knew you could do it.
Dang, man, this is fast.
The power of destruction. I will rebuild you.
Not good.
Not yet. This will surrender to my
Stay alive, my king.
double. I'm on fire. All evidence points this way.
Am I the one pushing cart? I am the one pushing cart.
Get into position. Greetings. This is my will.
The payload is approaching its
Bro, we're just gonna take this for free. Oh man.
victory. Play of the game.
Oh my god, where with these play the games? Never gotten so many before. Bro, really? What about my coalescence I had on defense?
Double.
Okay.
Welcome to Paris.
Never stop fighting for what you believe in. This is going to hurt. Nap time.
Meteor strike!
Eli. Hands off.
Can everyone not shoot at me at the same time? That'd be great. Thank you.
Much better. Shots find their marks.
Oh, I would have slept him too. Got him.
Meteor strike.
Damn it.
في الامتحان يكرم المرء أو يهان. ده هيفيدك. Hands off. Much better.
Oh.
Traveling to Volskaya Industries. Prepare to attack. Select your hero.
Hello. Hello. How are we doing?
Spectacularly, how are you?
I'm doing good.
Never stop fighting for what you believe in.
I wish I could play Doomfist like the pros. Jesus.
Just a little more time to get ready.
Where you press 3 buttons and then somebody's deleted from the game?
Yeah, but
Where
I
every
can't
single one of your abilities is a
Attack
stun.
commences in
Real
30
skillful.
seconds.
Yep.
Not my kind of winner. Anyone have an extra card? Some mittens? He'll for some reasons.
I shouldn't overstay my welcome. I'm probably still on the watch list here.
Привет!
Alright, don't be passive. Let's be aggressive in this game.
3,
Oh, I'll be aggressive. Don't you worry.
Nice.
I got you, Ryan. Just let me know when you want to charge in like an idiot.
They're separated. They're separated.
The pain is coming. Heal up.
Go.
You're going to live. This will help.
Ryan's down.
Oh, Widow, top left.
Widow.
You're going to make it.
Is Zarya low?
Got Winston. Oh, damn. This Widow's not messing.
This is much better
Oh, I
than
didn't
Cabana.
know we were all dead.
Ah, I missed that.
Yikes.
I messed it up. That's okay.
Oh, what? I wasn't trying to reload.
Interesting they're running Doom. Doom Widow. Doom's up top, coming down.
Fucking A.
That only got Ryan.
You're covered.
Come on.
Listen,
No, wrong way.
Oh, I'm coming.
You're powered up. Get in there. Get in there. Who's going?
There you go, immortality.
Huge nade.
Where's Widow? Back left?
High ground.
Yep.
Zarya's on me.
Yeah, Widow's Doom's guarding her.
Heal up.
Doom down.
Take your medicine.
Widow's on the stairs. Fuck. Alright, this should be winnable.
He's down.
Ball coming in.
Sorry, it took me a little bit to get on her. That's not bad.
You're covered. Walk it off. Much better.
Oh, that was.
Yeah, that's big.
Yeah, sorry about taking so long to get that Widow.
Commence attack on objective B.
Keep messing up my jumps. Been a while since.
You have a Roadhog now?
Pain is coming.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I just blocked this so it gets no hook.
Ryan, I'm coming with you.
Their Baptiste is down. They're down healed.
Oh shit. Widow top right.
Yep, I know.
Hog's coming in left side, Ryan.
Both the heals are down.
Got their Widow.
More than that. To
Their
keep
heals are
out
back.
of the fight.
No, we're not there
You
yet.
guys don't have heals.
Go. I'll keep you here. This will help.
Personne n'échappe à mon regard.
Get back.
Alright, I'm gonna ult this in.
Wait, who did I nano? Did I nano anybody?
Armor as well.
I don't know how I didn't block that.
Ryan's one.
I'm focusing Widow.
Good shot on the Doom.
No, I tried to jump out.
You're going to be okay. Get clear. Watching your back.
I'm a feeder. Lucia one.
Damn.
You're covered.
Oh shit, man.
Got him.
Okay, we got it.
Alright.
Widow didn't even touch point.
Score 2-0. Switching sides.
Oh, so good.
Prepare your defenses. Select your hero.
No dying on my watch. Everyone signed their life insurance policies?
Teleporter online. I have opened the box.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
It is time to act. We shall prove ourselves in glorious combat. Go!
Oh, okay.
They have a McCree and a.
Attackers incoming.
McCree, really?
Objective A.
I hope that lands where I think it's gonna land.
I need healing.
Regroup. Ground is low.
Team drawing out.
Regrouped up.
Get inside.
You guys are down 2. Be careful.
McCree,
Down 3.
Got the Mara.
Dang it, man.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll be able to get there fast enough.
Okay,
I can touch, but I don't think we're gonna get a real contest.
Not my time.
Yeah, we'll try.
Oh, I just got punched back. I'm not gonna be able to make it a point.
Ana's one. Alright.
Help! Help! This is Zarya that's mad.
Objective lost.
Dr. Hammond.
New defense point. Objective B.
That should be better.
Doom left side. Doom in the.
Yeah, I have Doom McCree. It's pinned up top.
what?
Oh, Jesus.
I got our bodies.
Got the Ana.
They're down both heels right now.
This makes it perfect. Not to mention some problems.
Down 3. Come on.
Yeah, where's Brad?
Round 2.
Yeah, we got
That
some.
grab.
Score. 2.
Sorry, I died at the beginning of that first fight, and then we lost. That's my bad.
Prepare to attack. Select your hero.
Let's see what Eladin picks this time.
Never stop fighting for what you believe in.
Right, yeah, I'll swap.
Science will reveal the truth.
Attack commences in 30 seconds.
The destruction caused by the Omnisphere. It reminds me of home. Think you can keep up with me?
Alright, so let's poke a tiny bit at choke. Diva, why don't you go around the left side and go touch point? As soon as they turn around to go after you, I'll speed boost us through choke.
4, 3,
Yeah. They have a Moira with the orb at door.
attack commences. Capture objective A.
Nope.
Alright. Diva, are you gonna go left?
Yeah, I'm going to. Just get their
Okay,
attention
so
first.
just wait it out, just wait it out.
Doom just up top again.
Holy shit.
Where is he? Nope, he's made it back already. Just keep poking.
Skill character
I
by
have
the way.
boosters. Going around.
This will heal you.
We gotta keep it around up.
Not ready.
Alright, 10 seconds.
Ends.
Alright, go, 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 go.
Nothing now.
Fuck.
Round 1.
I passed this point.
Oh,
Tell
come
me when
on.
y'all want me to head back to point. I'm just playing video games.
That changes my thinking.
Alright, we're just waiting for our Moira.
60 seconds remaining.
Just look out for Doom.
Getting into position.
Alright,
Alright.
go, 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 go.
We pushed.
3, 2, 1. Touching. Cupid's on top of the house. Oh, they stunned me.
This is one.
Doom's 1, Doom's 1.
Why does Doom get so many shields?
I'm blocking.
I can't. Yeah, I'm gonna eat it.
This will heal you.
Diva, if you jump off the edge now, you can have your
And it's gonna get overtime spawn on me.
Objective A captured.
I don't wanna
Commence attack
risk
on
it.
objective B.
My will made real. Prepare to die.
30 seconds.
Watch out for Doom.
This will restore you.
Let that wear off.
In my mech.
He only got. Got him.
or are you gonna never mind.
Nope.
We have ults, come on.
Oh, I got so fucking close.
Complete.
We must all make sacrifices.
Yeah, that's
in
Zarya
order to
just was
decide.
beaming me. I could not get
Score.
anywhere.
3-2. Switching sides.
We probably should have gone after that McCree instead of you because your health was low on the first point, so you didn't lose mech. We gotta think about stuff like that in advance.
Select your hero.
Cruz, can you go McCree? If we kill that Doom, we win. Yeah, thanks. I've had complete annihilation of the team except for the fucking Doom.
Yeah, I'll help out our McCree.
Science will reveal the
And he's been hard targeting me because I was in his.
We need something with a defensive ult for when they have grab.
Then I won't help out McCree.
There we go. Oh no no.
If Mercy stays back far enough.
30 seconds.
It's not my preference to see
Nah,
others
you can't heal through a
personally,
grab.
Break
but
would
I
have
will
been
see
better.
them done.
Oh, it does this make you waste Falc?
I'm not one for standing around. See that which
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Defend
This
objective A.
is my will. Hurry up about it.
barrier activated. The enemy approaches.
Yep, Doom does.
Doom's
This will
escorted.
improve your condition. This will heal you.
Right side, big right side.
McCree's going right side.
Yep.
Oh shit. Man.
They're defending McCree a lot.
We are
We
dead.
lost a healer.
All in a day's work.
I must reflect upon this.
We gotta play safer than that. You can't get a healer picked right away.
Our healers are getting picked way too easily.
Yeah.
Your power is mine.
Oh, dude, what are you doing?
Objective
Fuck them in this Doom.
new defense point.
I'm not dead yet. I will rebuild you. Tell me how this feels.
McCree and Doom top left.
Yep, they hurt.
How?
Ryan can die.
Oh, Nano Doom.
Yeah, just keep him alive to carry that.
I'm being bullied.
Does anyone else want to strike?
That changes my thinking. My
Good try.
Defeat. Play of the game.
What? Again?
surrender to my will.
Double.
Alright, I think I need to be for today, guys.